ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाखाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरून् श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथां वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सार्वधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखां वितंश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धून एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for this wonderful Bhagavad Gita class. We were on shloka number 54. We completed till shloka number 53. We are going to now see what are the qualifications of a Sthita Pragya person his intelligence is absolutely fixed. We finished this now. How does he walk and how does he talk? Did we complete this? Yeah, I think we completed this. Then I said that from next time onwards we'll continue. Okay. Now the Supreme Lord starts speaking. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvam Partha Manogatan Atmani Eva Atmana Tushta Stita Pragyasya Tatuchyate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. So Prabhupada is saying that the Bhagavatam affirms that any person who is in full Krishna conscious or devotional service of the Lord has all good qualities of the sages, whereas a person who is not transcendentally situated has no good qualifications because he is sure to be taking refuge in his own mental concoctions. Consequently, it is rightly said herein that one has to give up all sense desire manufactured by mental concoction. Artificially, such desires cannot be stopped. See, when will these desires come? Okay, now see, Prabhupada is saying that going to take refuge in his own mental concoctions. Now, when will these mental concoction arise if a particular person is not sufficiently engaged in satisfying Krishna? So he'll keep on, because empty mind is devil's workshop. So he'll keep on having his mental concoctions, thinking that, okay, I am going to build this castle. You say that building castles in the air. or in Hindi hum bolte hai Sheikh Chilli Vichar. So he's going to keep on building castles in the air, which certain certain castles might be built and certain castles might not be built. But all these castles which are being built by him through his mental plane, they are only for his own sense gratification. They are not for satisfying Krishna or giving pleasure to Krishna. He is trying to give pleasure to his own self by all these mental concoctions. So, consequently, it is rightly said herein that one has to give up all kinds of sense desire manufactured by mental concoction. Artificially, such desires cannot be stopped, but when if he is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous efforts. So, when a person is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically it will subdue. Subdue means Hindi ko bolte uska daman hoga, or it will be, pushed at the lower and the higher nature will come. The lower nature will go away. And what is the higher nature and the original constitutional nature of the jiva will rise up. Therefore, one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation, for his devotional service will instantly help one into the platform of transcendental consciousness. The highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. So even this, when a person has a highly developed soul, what is his consciousness? Any activity he's doing, he's thinking that I am doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. I am doing it for satisfying Krishna. So that is because he is satisfying Krishna, then he'll always remain satisfied in himself also. Why? Because he is watering the root. Okay. Such a transcendentally situated person has no sense desires. His desires are very bare minimum, which he has to just sustain his body and soul, resulting from petty materialism. See, materialism, Prabhupada is saying, is petty. Rather, he remains always happy in his natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord. He is very happy. The soul will be happy only by serving Krishna. The soul will not be happy by serving his own senses or serving somebody else's senses or serving something which is not connected to Krishna. So in this connection, I have some slides which I would like to show you all. This is His Grace Radhesham Prabhu has given us. And these files are very big. I cannot share it on WhatsApp, but I'll share it on Google Drive. So Prabhuji says over here is, what are the symptoms of a Sthita Pragya person or a self-realized person? So he is Atmaram, self-satisfied when you say Atmaram. So then what are the qualities of a liberated person or a Sthita Pragya soul? That he is a Jivan Mukta. He is liberated in this body itself. So Srila Vishwanath Chakri Thakur is saying that what is the link? Hearing about intelligence fixed Achala Buddhi in Samadhi. Arjuna now asks Krishna about the characters of such a yogi who is called a Sthita Pragya, one fixed in intelligence. So then Arjuna is asking about the Sthita Pragya, the symptoms of a Sthita Pragya person or qualities of Sthita Pragya person. So he's saying, Ka Bhasha, what are his general symptoms? Krishna will answer them in shloka number 55. Kim Prabhaseta, how does he speak on receiving praise or blame, affection or hate? What will he say externally or internally? Krishna is answering that in shloka number 56, 57. Kim Asita, how does he sit? How does he restrain his senses from sense objects? Then Krishna is answering in 58 to 63. And then Vrajeta Kim, how does he walk? How does he respond to the sense objects? Then Krishna is answering in the subsequent shloka. So then, what are the general symptoms of a Sthita Pragya person. So in from shloka number 55, he's going to discuss. So the first question Arjuna is asking, what are the general symptoms of a self-realized person? So Krishna says he gives up all material desires of sense gratification born of mental concoction. Thus purified in mind, one finds satisfaction in the self alone. This is the shloka that we just saw. To be satisfied in self alone, know of Lord's love for us and our relationship with him. So if we know Krishna's qualities, then especially it will benefit us. Why? Because everybody would like to adopt good qualities. Everybody would like to see that, okay, aren't we attracted when we see somebody's good qualities? Oh, wonderful, he's so polite to the devotees. Oh, wonderful, he's so tolerant. Oh, wonderful, he's so helpful. So then these qualities, when we hear about Krishna again and again, and we hear about the devotees also, so then it is going to benefit us. Benefits of connecting our activities to Krishna and offering our fruits to Krishna. So any person who is doing any activity, whether he is earning, whether he is traveling, whether he is cooking, whether he is teaching, whether he has his own profession, whether he is performing a surgery, whatever activities if he is performing, if he says that, okay, I do it as an offering to you, Krishna, I want to please you, but there are certain activities which might not please you, but still I offer it to you. So when these activities, connect it to Krishna and you're offering those fruits to Krishna, then we're establishing, because every time we start a particular activity. So for example, even if I'm studying Shastras, then when I'm studying Shastras, I'm just praying to the Lord. Why do we chant the Mangalacharan? We are doing this whole Mangalacharan in the beginning is as an offering to Krishna. That, okay, I do not have so much of proper sense to understand the Shastras or its intricacies. I pray that I may understand, and after understanding, I offer that particular activity to you. And then Krishna is also giving special favors to his devotees. It's not like that Krishna does not reciprocate. Krishna is a reciprocating God. He is not that okay, he'll just keep on taking praises and prayers and worship for himself. No, he is in a very much high mood of reciprocating with his devotees. And that is why he's reciprocating. Over here, you see in this picture, he's reciprocating with Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna is his very dear friend. He's reciprocating with Shabri. He's reciprocating with Kevat. He's reciprocating with Pandavas. He is reciprocating with Ajamil also. He is reciprocating with Dhruv Maharaj, with Prahlad Maharaj. And if you see Krishna's reciprocation or his special favor for his devotees, he does not mind taking any menial position to reciprocate. So, for example, over here, he is actually taking the position of a chauffeur. He is taking the position of a driver. He does not mind it. Or in Sudama's case, he is washing the feet of that Sudama Brahman. So these are, and very special favors he is giving Dhruv Maharaj also. Dhruv Maharaj came in the intention that he wants a kingdom which is higher than his grandfather also. And Krishna is even ready to give. But because Dhruv Maharaj had the darshan of the Supreme Lord, then his heart is completely cleansed of all that material contamination. And then Dhruv Maharaj says that, no, I was hunting for, or I was looking out for pieces of broken glasses. But when I've got a gem like you, or a jewel like you, or a diamond like you, then I don't need all these things. But Krishna is insisting, the Lord is insisting that you ask. So after back and forth 2-3 times, then Dhruv Maharaj is asking, oh Lord, if you at all you want to give something, then give me the association of devotees. And if you see in our lives also, this is the very special favor that Krishna has done for us. Krishna is giving his favor in the form of the association of devotees. Krishna's favor is in the form of the spiritual master accepting us. Krishna's special favor is the association of devotees. Krishna's favor is every time he is through the devotees, through the medium of the devotees, he is facilitating us to come closer to him. Now, what else? So, in our lives, also, we should think or ponder over that what are the special favors that Krishna has done to me? I'm sorry. What are the special favors that Krishna has done to me in my life? And we must have gratitude. Or even any devotee has done some special favor on you, and your spiritual life immediately got uplifted. So we should thank that devotee also. Maybe in the initial years, if you have come and that devotee has done some very special favor to you, we should keep that gratitude for our life long. In fact, we should cherish that facilitation lifelong. Then the fourth point he's saying over here, his compassionate glance upon his devotees. So we know that when Krishna glances, the whole cosmic manifestation actually comes into life. So imagine when till the time Krishna does not glance upon a particular devotee, we should understand that, or a particular person, we should understand that it is as equal as, this person is into dormant state of Krishna consciousness. The moment Krishna glances upon his devotees, immediately, this Krishna consciousness, and that is why do we go and take darshan of the Lord every day morning? Why? Because when the curtains open, what is happening? Krishna is glancing upon us. Definitely, we are taking darshan of the Supreme Lord, but Krishna is uh, Krishna is glancing upon us and giving his mercy. And he's giving his compassionate glance. Oh, my devotee woke up at 3:30 in the morning and he is coming. What a wonderful thing. And his sweet glances are there. So his sweet glances are on the gopis also, his pure devotees also. His sweet glances are on those innocent souls also, in the form of a motherly compassion that is there for the devotees. And when he is glancing on every devotee in the morning, every devotee is purified just by seeing Krishna's smile, Krishna's eyes, Krishna's eyebrows, Krishna's, three bent standing form. So this is his compassion for his devotees, that these devotees become purified of the material contamination, and then they become satisfied. See, the eyes will be satisfied only by seeing Krishna or his devotees. If you see some Maharaj, somebody is coming in our temple and there is such a big hype, okay, yes, Maharaj is coming, Maharaj. The moment we see any sannyasi, immediately our eyes become so satisfied. Why? Because these eyes are looking for pure things. These eyes are not looking for anything impure. Under the influence of the mode of material nature of passion, ignorance, and passion and ignorance, it might actually, these eyes, because obviously the eyes are always open, they might go to a particular non adaptable thing or non required thing for the eyes. But yes, the eyes will get satisfied only by seeing Krishna and his pure devotees. And that's how we will know that yes, Krishna loves us. How Krishna loves us, that every time Krishna is sending these pure devotees to actually uplift me every time. So every devotee, when so I have specifically remember when I was staying in Delhi, we used to have a flood of sannyasis, because Delhi is the international airport, and to go to Vrindavan, definitely, the pure devotees will come to Delhi temple, because of course with a 24-hour flight or an 18-hour flight, then there is a jet lag. So then they need some rest. They cannot immediately travel 4 or 5 hours by road to Vrindavan. So they'll come and halt. And immediately when these sannyasis would come, pure devotees to come, it was such a great satisfaction. Some sannyasis are coming for their medical treatment because there are very qualified hospitals in Delhi, and then they're resting. There are sannyasis who have halted for six months. We get an opportunity to serve them. There are sannyasis for 3 months. We get an opportunity to serve them. So what is this? This is only Krishna's compassion for living soul. And we should know that yes, Krishna loves us. And because Krishna loves us, he's sending these pure devotees for our purification. We say, na, darshane pavitra kari ei tomara guna. So the moment we see pure devotees, we will be purified. What will we be purified of? We will be purified of our misconceptions that no, I have to serve the Supreme Lord. I don't have to serve my senses. All that material contamination that is there, we will be, we will be pushed off with that material contamination. So, uh, yes. Sannyasi is visited to Radha Parthasati temple, yes. And Krishna takes very personal interest in his devotees. So it's not that Krishna is partial only to his devotees, but he takes special interest. Why? Because Krishna becomes sold to his devotees. When the devotees are loyal to Krishna, then Krishna is equally loyal to the devotees. And he takes personal, like with the Pandavas. How much personal interest did Krishna take with them? With Dhruv Maharaj, with Prahlad Maharaj, how much personal interest did Krishna take? Imagine, Krishna does not mind taking a half man, half lion. He's not thinking, oh, what will the world say that I am a half lion, half man. Now, today, if somebody has to say that, okay, in the drama, you become half, people say, no, I don't want to become half man, half lion. People will mock at me. But here is Krishna, ready to become a half lion, half man to save his pure devotee Prahlad. Also, he does not mind taking or appearing from a pillar also. So there are so many instances where Krishna does not mind taking a menial position, or Krishna does not mind what the world will say. What is beneficial for that particular devotee, Krishna will instantly do that for that particular devotee. So Krishna is taking so much personal interest also for his devotees. Then so Ramanujacharya is also actually giving some qualities of over here, Krishna's relationship with his devotees. So then Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that what are the benefits of connecting all our activities with Krishna? So if you see this, where is this being taken from? This is the book called Essence of Bhagavad Gita. So it has been taken from this. Prabhuji has taken from his own book this. So what is the main difference between pure bhakti and Nishkam Karma Yoga is that the actions of one in pure bhakti are initiated by his devotion. So whatever actions I'm taking, then I have a devotion towards Krishna, and that's why I am doing all these activities for pleasing Krishna. The acts of one in Nishkam Karma Yoga are generally initiated by some kind of attachment, which is then purified by offering the fruits to Krishna. So there is some kind of attachment that is there, that okay, I have to do this, I have to do this seva, I have to chant, because currently why we are chanting? We are chanting because we know this chanting is going to give us some higher pleasure. This chanting is going to give us to a higher platform, and ultimately we are going to reach to the supreme abode of the Lord. But in a purified state, when we will chant, we will not have any kind of attachment. We will have attachment only to Krishna. We will have attachment only to serve Krishna, and we will chant only to please Krishna. So currently, when we are chanting, we are not trying to please Krishna while chanting, because the mind is reeling into all types of mental concoctions. It is actually building castles in the air while even chanting. But slowly and steadily, by the practice of chanting again and again, we will our activities will be initiated by a devotion to Krishna, by pleasing Krishna, by having this intention, a conscious intention to please Krishna. So then what happens over here is freedom comes by connecting our activities with the Lord's service. So currently we are binded, we are not liberated, we are actually binded. So Lord Krishna explains that by acting in this way, one will be freed from the bondage to work and its results. Mokshaye karma bandhane. More than that, one will become liberated, vinmukti. More than that, one will come to Krishna, Mamupayasi, to Kaunteya. So Prahlad is also protected by Krishna, by Vishnu, and Krishna also, because see, with Prahlad, what exactly has happened is that he had an inert devotion to Krishna right from his mother's womb. When he is hearing from Narad Muni, from childhood only he has, this devotion to Krishna. So then what happened is that all his activities are dovetailed towards Krishna only. Every time his consciousness runs towards Krishna. Currently, our consciousness is running towards satisfying our own senses or our material desires. But a pure devotee's conscious is always running towards Krishna. His heart is always jumping and leaping towards Krishna. So this is what is being said in this slide. And then Krishna's special favor to his devotees. So all these points that are there, which I did summarize, these are again being explained in the subsequent slides. Okay. So Krishna's special favor for his devotees. So one may argue that Krishna's special attraction for his devotees is a symptom of attachment and aversion. But the Lord is explaining again. He's saying that no, he's not partial or hateful to anyone, because Krishna is also a person. He naturally reciprocates with those who are favorably disposed towards him. So the analogy of the rain is helpful in this regard. So see whether how, what is the rain analogy saying that the whenever there is a yajna or whenever there is a sacrifice performed, then there will be rains, and the rains that are there, they are not partial, that okay, over here this yajna was happening, so okay, only in this particular part I will shower rain. No, the rains are not partial to anyone or hateful to anyone. The rains are showering their water on all parts of the earth, and that is why Krishna is not partial to anyone. And Prabhupada makes that point that if a reciprocal relation is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personalist philosophy. So when we say that we are personalist, right, we are not impersonalist, because why we are personalist? Because we know that the Supreme Lord is reciprocating with us. Devotees are reciprocating with us. And that is why Krishna reciprocates with his the love of his devotees. This is what is being said over here. Krishna's compassionate glance upon his devotees. So the Lord is explaining how his devotees whom he favors are in different categories than ordinary people. Generally, one who commits a sin is considered fallen in the society. But the Lord's devotees are to be considered saintly even if they are fallen by ordinary standards. What is that shloka? Apichetosu durachara bhajate ma ananya bhag. A devotee may sometimes make mistakes and commit a sinful action. Even so, if he is situated firmly in devotional service, he should be considered saintly because he will soon be rectified by the powerful process of bhakti yoga in which the Lord personally amends his devotees' faults. Amendment means makes changes. So see, that is why I always say that when we come to devotional life, we are not in control of our life at all. Krishna is taking charge. Krishna takes control of our life. And that is why Krishna will intervene also in our karmas. Krishna will intervene in our karmas means what? That by karma, my hand was supposed to be cut. I had done something in the past birth and my hand was supposed to be cut. But Krishna intervenes, and while cooking or while doing something, your hand is cut by a small knife or it's just a small bleed where your hand was supposed to be cut, and where I just have a small cut in my hand. So Krishna is making amendments in the karma of a devotee also. Or by karma I was supposed to be a beggar begging on the streets, but Krishna is so merciful that I am properly situated in this house under a proper atmosphere, and on the roads I was supposed to be begging in the scorching heat, but over here I have nice shade given, a nice fan given by the Lord. If it is more hot, then there is an AC given by the Lord. So in every instance, if we try to see Krishna's compassion towards us, and how Krishna is most merciful to us, so we will appreciate Krishna every moment. There will be a moment of gratitude. I remember I had given one seminar on gratitude series, and that series I was telling that every moment we should have gratitude for the Lord. I'm eating one morsel, gratitude. Every morsel when we are eating, we should think, Krishna, thank you that I'm getting this morsel by your mercy. Otherwise, my karmas in the past so many millions of births are such horrible that I don't qualify to eat even this one single morsel that I'm putting in my mouth now. But Krishna, you are so merciful that you have given me a very wonderful, facility to have this one morsel and, take care of my body. So, because of Lord's mercy, even those who are generally considered unfit for spiritual life by birth can attain the supreme destination. So, in the Bhagavatam, Kirata, Huninda, Pulina, Kalkasha, all these people, the Yakshasas, the Rakshasas, the Aborigines, everybody is qualified to attain the supreme destination. Krishna is equally loving to all the living entities that are born from him only, because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So he is giving, his mercy is flowing, his mercy is floating everywhere. It's only how we catch that particular mercy. His mercy is flowing in the form of the Shastras. His mercy is flowing in the form of his prasad. His mercy is flowing in the form of the association of devotees. His mercy is flowing in the form of his Archa Vigraha form. His mercy is flowing in the form of service to himself, right? So how are we catching that mercy? His mercy is flowing in the instructions of the spiritual master also, because the spiritual master is a direct manifestation of the Supreme Lord. So the moment the spiritual master is giving some instruction, see, some instructions of the spiritual master are general, like for example, he's giving a Bhagavatam class and he's giving a general. But that instruction is for every soul sitting in that class. So his mercy. So one time I remember I was serving His Holiness Keshav Bharati Swami Maharaj, who is actually in Govardhan. He's situated in Govardhan ISKCON temple over there. So I was just, because I had cooked for him and I was thinking, in the process of cooking, let me get some mercy so that I can chant some good rounds. Uh, so he's saying, mercy is already flowing. And I'm thinking, where is mercy and how can I catch? Because I was thinking, mercy is flowing. And I was taking the literal meaning out of my own immaturity, you can say. Then he made a statement, because he paused after that. And I was thinking, where is mercy flowing? I was just saying, where is it flowing? And then he's saying that the mercy is flowing in the instructions of your spiritual master. From that point onwards, that statement got so much engraved into my heart that I really started seriously taking the instructions of my spiritual master. So he told that every time the spiritual master is giving instructions, whether it is personal instruction or a general instruction in the class, we should catch that, we should write it down, and we should try to follow it down. So the instructions of the spiritual master can be postponed, but not neglected. How Srila Prabhupada was given in 1911, that you go to the West and you preach. But after such a long span of time, after how many years did he go to US? After 50 years, he went to USA, right? To preach in the West. But that instruction was there, and that instruction was there with Srila Prabhupada till he did not reach. Till the fag end of his life, that instruction still remained with him. And Srila Prabhupada was working towards that instruction, because before that also Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had sent many of his disciples to UK, but they were not very successful over there in preaching. But Srila Prabhupada went very much prepared. He prepared very nicely. It was a ground preparation that he did. He had printed many books. He went with the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He went, while going over there to a particular country, he should have something substantial. Then he can actually preach over there. So he had the Srimad Bhagavatam translated by then. The first volume was translated by then. So that's how Srila Prabhupada went very much prepared. And at the age of 70, so when the right opportunity came, then he actually went to USA. And at the age of 70 also, he did not think, oh, now I'm 70. My spiritual master had given this instruction 50 years ago. How does that matter? That time I was young, so I was able to go, but now I'm not very young. No, for a pure devotee, the external body does not matter only. Why? Because the pure devotees are not living on bodily consciousness. The pure devotees are living on soul consciousness, on the level of the soul. So that is how they don't think that whether I'm 80, whether I'm 90, whether I'm 70, but he went and he started a worldwide movement over there. So this is something really very inspirational to us. And over here is saying that generally unfit for spiritual life. So see, how did the Lord shower mercy into our lives also? Were we really fit for spiritual life? No, we were not fit for spiritual life. But how did that mercy flow? The mercy flew in the form of the devotees' mercy on us. Because the devotees have sufficient mercy of Krishna, then they pass on that Krishna's mercy to us. Evam parampara praptam. So devotees are very expert in giving Krishna's mercy to anybody who's not even fit for spiritual life. And the devotees are so merciful that they don't see externals also. I remember the first time when I had gone in 1990 to Juhu temple, I was not even dressed properly. Somewhere our hair was flying here and there, and we were not dressed properly, because from Juhu beach, we had come to the temple as such. First, we took a right to the Juhu beach, and there we messed up ourselves, and then we came to the temple over there on an Ekadashi day. So their devotees did not sing, oh, such a shabby person, we'll not give him, to chant, we will not give him book, or we'll not give him prasadam, because these three things I had got over there. I had chanted, because I chanted, they gave me prasad, and because I chanted, they gave me a they gave me a small book, Krishna, the Reservoir of Pleasure. And they give me one more book. After that was Krishna Consciousness, a Matchless Gift. So they gave me a book, and they gave me prasad also. Very shabby. I still remember that I had gone so shabby. But this is, the devotee's mercy on a person who is not even fit for spiritual life. And that's how the Lord showers his mercy towards his devotees. So the devotee is getting mercy, but he does not want to keep that mercy. The devotee is so much liberal in giving that mercy, that when he is getting Krishna's mercy, he wants to distribute it. So that is the glory of the devotees also. And Krishna takes personal interest in his devotees. So how immediately, it's not like that Krishna could have sent, no? He could have sent Brahma for Gajendra. He could have sent Lord Shiva also. He could have sent anybody. But no, Krishna is taking personal interest in his devotees. Immediately, within nanoseconds, over here, Garuda is also actually taking so much time to fly. So Krishna reaches first, and then Garuda reaches later on. At that point of time, while saving Gajendra, Krishna is saying, Garuda, why are you flying so, now Garuda is the king of the birds. But Krishna is saying that your speed is very slow. And Krishna reaches first to save Gajendra. This is the eagerness, and this is the very, very intimate interest Krishna is taking in his devotees. Even for Draupadi, Krishna came immediately. He took a express highway path to save Draupadi within nanoseconds, because Krishna was sitting in Dwarka at that point of time, and he was playing the dice game with Rukmini. And he is telling Rukmini that I'm very sorry. This is a very special session, and I'm taking a little more time to dive more deeply into this second session. I had planned that I will complete the second chapter today, but I think Krishna has some other desire only from this particular these slides. So over there, Krishna is telling the Rukmini that, my devotee, he's in great trouble, and he really needs my help. So Mother Rukmini is telling, then what are you doing over here? Run, go and help your devotee. Saying, no, but my pure devotee hasn't sought my help. Then how will I go? Currently, the devotee is actually asking help to all these relatives. So Draupadi was asking help to Bhishma Pitama and her husbands, and Dhritarashtra, Kripacharya, Dronacharya. She was asking help, because there are many levels. Krishna, there is a like a proper conversation going on. So she's saying, no, now he's saying that, no, now she's asking help from her husbands. Saying, okay, then again he's playing the dice. And again, so see, he's playing the dice with Rukmini, but his heart is actually in that particular, his heart is in Hastinapur. He's in Dwarka, his heart is in Hastinapur, because he knows that Draupadi is in, great danger over there. Then he's telling that, no, he has asked, the devotee has asked help from her parents. Then he's saying that, no, the devotee has asked help from her husbands. And then Rukmini is telling, then why you not going? But no, she's not called out to me. The devotee is not called out to me at all. So how will I go? Then again, he's playing the dice. Oh, this devotee is now actually taking help of the sari, because the devotee has faith in that sari, that the sari will save me. husbands will save me, the gurus will save me. Then very, very late, Draupadi Draupadi really realized that no, now I have nobody other than Krishna will come to help me. When she raised both her arms, because with one hand she was holding her sari and with the other hand she was calling out. That time also Krishna did not come. But when she left her sari and she's raising both her hands, and there are incessant tears falling from her eyes, that became a very express highway for Krishna. Immediately within nanoseconds, Krishna reached at that spot and he expanded himself in the form of the sari, and he helps Draupadi and he saves Draupadi's life. So, understanding the truth about Krishna and his devotees, one should absorb himself in Krishna consciousness. So, the most confidential knowledge is that Lord Krishna takes personal interest in his devotees' life. The ultimate relationship is essential understanding present in the Gita. Understanding it naturally leads one to take the path of Krishna consciousness, as explained in the 34th verse. So, Krishna is taking, personal interest in his devotees. For Prahlad Maharaj also Krishna came. For Gajendra also Krishna came. For, in that matter, even for Ajamil, who had done so many sins in his life, only by unknowingly calling, his son Narayana, Krishna is taking that, okay, he's calling me only. And immediately he's sending Vishnu Dutas. So this is Krishna's compassion. This is Krishna's loving reciprocation to his devotees. So then the next question is that, how does he speak? So, dear devotees, last time also I had told you all that when you all come for the class, please read Srila Prabhupada's purports, because these purports are very jewel-like, gem-like purports, and there are many, many detailed, information given in Prabhupada's text. So whenever you all come, you all please read at least the 10 shlokas and the purports you read and come. So there is a clear understanding of those particular shlokas. So then Krishna is answering the second question. How does this particular devotee speak? So then he says that, how does he speak means he's saying that how does his intelligence and words respond to affection, anger, and neutrality. So if somebody is angry, so if somebody is very affectionate, or whether in happiness or distress, how does he behave? So Krishna is saying that this particular person is equipoised in happiness and distress. Whether he is happy, he is fine. Whether he is distressed also, he is absolutely fine. And then he is free from even attachment, fear and anger. So, oh, Roop Manohar Prabhu, you are not able to see the presentation? I'm sorry. From 8:30 he is not able to see the presentation. Prabhuji, are you able to see the presentation now? Just give me a minute. Roop Manohar Prabhu, are you able to see the presentation? Okay. How many of you are not able to see the presentation? Please put your hands up.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, I cannot see actually. I thought, but I don't know. Like it's coming black for me. I don't know.
Prabhuji, you are on mobile or you are on computer?
I'm on mobile, Mataji.
So everybody is able to see. Who all are not able to see the presentation, just put it in the chat box. Okay, everybody is able to see. Prabhuji, maybe, you know, there is some...
Yeah, let me check mine.
So see, there are devotees on mobile also, they can also see. So just Prabhuji
Okay.
check, because these slides are really very, you know, inspiring slides for all of us.
Sure, Mataji. I
Yeah.
will check.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I beg apologies for that, but we have to take care of everybody and then move ahead. I was feeling bad that he's not. He's a very sincere student in the class. So, okay. Free from attachment, fear, and anger, because he's unaffected by, you know, good and evil, and he's firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. So, when there is happiness coming, he's thinking that, yes, it is the mercy of the Lord that this happiness has come. And when there is distress also, he's thinking that, yes, this distress has come out of my own past karmas. So this misery has come, but this misery is mercy of Krishna on me. Why? Because if I'm having miseries, then I will be more surrendered to the Supreme Lord. I will intensely pray to the Supreme Lord. So this misery, he takes it as the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And that is why he's unaffected. Prahlad was unaffected. Dhruv Maharaj again was unaffected, because when the Yakshasas and Rakshasas had come to this, but he was immediately unaffected. When Brahmaji told him that you please stop it, immediately he stopped. So all the pure devotees, they are completely you know, unaffected by good and evil, and they're firmly fixed in knowledge. So then in this sloka number 54, what is Srila Prabhupada saying? That the importance of the word symptom. There are symptoms of a rich man, diseased man, learned man. Similarly, symptoms of a self-realized souls are addressed over here. So most important symptom is how he speaks. Speech is the most important quality of a man. So if you see now, you know, I should not really comment, but if you see that a particular self-realized soul, or a person who has, you know, that intelligence, immediately when he'll open his mouth, you come to know that, yes, this person is a learned person, this person is a knowledgeable person, this person has sufficient knowledge about his subject matter, or he has studied a lot. And you don't go and brag outside your country. You don't go and say wrong things about your country. You don't go to the West and you don't say anything wrong about your own country. So, so most important is that we see that, of course, uh, the immediate symptom of a Krishna conscious person is that he will speak only that is related to Krishna and matters relating to him. Because why? He is only concerned about Krishna and his devotees. He does not want to listen anything. What happened in you know, movies, and what happened in politics, and what happened in any other state. He's really not bothered about that. He's only worried that uh, uh, what is my relationship with Krishna? How can I develop my relationship with Krishna? How can I intensify my relationship with Krishna? How can I enhance my relationship with Krishna? So he is only speaking about Krishna because his goal is very clear. He has to reach over there, and he speaks about that. Say, so for example, somebody wants to go to New York. And before going, you know, 1 month before going, everywhere he's going and telling, you know what, I'm going to New York. You know what, I'm going to New York. New York is such a place. You know, people over there are like that. So that 1 month he'll keep on ga about New York only. So the Krishna conscious person is similarly talking about only Golok Vrindavan activities. What is happening in the spiritual world? what he's interested only what is happening in the spiritual world. He wants taza news of what is currently happening in the spiritual world. And we all know that currently also there are many pastimes happening in Golok Vrindavan. And these are nitya, means these activities are eternal. They keep on happening over there. And these activities are not that they repeat. From time immemorial, none of Krishna's pastimes have repeated. Or from time immemorial, Radharani is cooking different dishes for Krishna and Chappan Bhog 3 times or 6 times. In every prahar, she is cooking, 56 bhoga for, and none of those items have repeated. Can you imagine such an expert cook Srimati Radharani is? So, devotees are interested, or a Krishna conscious person is interested only in knowing the news about Krishna or his relationship about Krishna. So, what is a test of a yogi, devotee, self-realized soul? So, he is able to control senses according to his plan. So, for example, over here, Srila Haridas Thakur, there is this a prostitute who came to disturb him, but he had completely control. He's saying that, see, I have a plan. I have to complete my rounds. You please come after that. So she comes after some time. Now he's saying, no, now again, another, round has started. You please come. Another, 16 rounds have started for me. Now you come tomorrow. And somehow by the association of Srila Haridas Thakur, that particular prostitute become a devotee. So what? He's able to control his senses. He did not get allured. He did not start, chatting with her. Okay, why have you come? What is your interest? No. He immediately, he immediately sensed it, that she has come to disturb my, relationship with Krishna. So we should also understand nothing of this earth should disturb our relationship with Krishna. No person, no situations, no circumstances should disturb our relationship with Krishna. So there are two analogies given over here. Who is a self-controlled yogi? The tortoise and the devotee. The snake charmer, senses, and the serpent. So what does the tortoise do? If there is any danger, he immediately withdraws all his limbs inside his shell and he becomes protected. And the snake charmer senses and the serpent. So the the senses should not dance like how the snake dances on the instrument of the snake charmer. So he never lets the senses loose, but controls the senses, which are like venomous serpents, under do's and don'ts, and just like a snake charmer controls a snake. So we also should know how to control our senses and not let them loose. So withdraw the senses like a tortoise. Okay, so immediately he withdraws. Any danger he sees, immediately he withdraws. So how one in Krishna consciousness is equipoised? Because he accepts everything, happiness and distress, as Krishna's mercy. And he is free from attachment, fear and anger, because he is always daring and active, and he is fixed on the service of the Lord. So this is actually Jada Bharat over here. And his relatives were going to give Bali, they're going to sacrifice him to Mother Kali. But imagine, immediately Mother Kali comes and slashes down those rogues and saves Jad Bharat. So he was ready to be slashed also in front of Mother Kali and fixed on the service, but internally he was completely fixed on his thoughts about Krishna. So yeah, I am reading all the comments of all the devotees, and all these comments are absolutely correct. and all their understanding is also absolutely correct. He is always, he does not come under any attachment or aversion. He never gets angry, whether successful or not. He's steady in determination. See over here, no, Jad Bharat, he could have retaliated, right? Every person has a right to defend himself. But over here, he's not even defending himself. He's ready to be, slashed by the sharp instrument of that butcher. And he never got angry also, but he was steady in his thoughts about Krishna. So then the next question arises that how does he sit? Now sitting does not mean really, physically sitting, but the third question is that how does he sit? So in the next two shlokas, he says that he restrains his senses and mentality. So he uses his sense only for Krishna's service. Based on a higher taste, he can control his senses. So this implies to keeping senses always in the service of the Lord, and he withdraws his senses when not required. So for example, how is it applicable to us in our own personal lives also? So for example, somebody is going for shopping, okay, and you see many allurements over there, right? But for example, when you go for shopping, just give me 1 minute, okay? So when you go for shopping, what are you realizing? Why, with what intention do you go for shopping? Okay, so you go that, okay, these are the bare minimum necessities that are required. I need vegetables for the house. I need certain bare minimum, needs are there. There is a difference between needs and wants also. Need means the basic needs: food, water, air, these are clothing, shelter. These are the basic needs. So you're going to the market and you see many other things also, which really are not required, which really you don't need. So then over there, we withdraw our senses. Oh, it is not really required, in my Krishna consciousness. I have enough clothing. I have enough food. And I have enough. Then I don't get allured by the discounts or buy one, get one free. Then what do? I withdraw the senses in that way. So, or how do I withdraw? Okay, currently I'm earning and it is sufficient enough for my family at the current moment. And yes, whatever I'm earning, I'm able to save also some savings for myself. Then I do not have the greed to, keep on accumulating property after property after property. There I'm withdrawing my senses that no, I think now, I think, we are sufficient enough. Everything is falling in its own place. Everything is fine. Then now I have to focus my time more on Krishna consciousness. I have to give my time more to Krishna consciousness, and I don't have to accumulate unnecessary wealth, and I don't have to have the greed of accumulating more and more and more. So this is how a person will withdraw his senses, and he will have that control over the senses, that because many times, these senses put you in the greed mode, and then that greed keeps on increasing. So we have to, so and what will happen now? See, the moment we will increase our Krishna conscious activities now, automatically the greed will also decrease. Why? Because this is something material. This is something lower taste that is there. But the moment we have a higher taste, then what will happen? That greed will also go away. That greed will not be there, right? So slowly, all these lower nature, that is there will go away, and the higher nature will come up. The higher nature will start shining. What is that higher nature? That higher nature is that the soul wants to be connected only to Krishna. The soul wants to only please Krishna. The soul wants to only listen about Krishna. The soul is interested only in knowing Krishna and his activities. So this is the higher nature that the devotee will adopt. And then this Sthita Pragya sense control sitting. So developing a higher taste is the secret. Experiencing a higher taste, Vishaya Vinivartante Nirasis. So he will restraining is difficult because taste of sense objects will always remain. So, taste of sense objects means what? The eyes will like to see Bollywood movies. The ears will like to hear Bollywood songs or Hollywood songs. The tongue will like to taste which is not offered to Krishna. The nose will want to actually smell kanda bhaji. What do you say for that? Onion pakodas. Okay. Or meat, because somebody who has eaten meat in the previous this, then his sense will keep on troubling. Oh, this is meat is being, cooked over here. Or the hands will want to actually because the hands has a sense of touch. So the hand will go somewhere in wrong direction also of earning something wrong or acquiring something wrong. So this restraining is only very difficult for these senses, because this taste of sense object is still remaining. And this is because of a fall down for impersonal for those in Ashtanga Yoga. These Ashtanga yogis, they cannot restrain their senses. So a restriction of a disease patient from some food item, patient still has taste for it. So for example, somebody who has really high fever, the doctor tells him that do not eat anything that is cold. But no, this guy likes ice cream so much, and he will still, in that high fever also, he will eat, ice cream. Or a person who is a diabetic person, he still wants to eat sugar. So, uh, that's how, his disease will never be cured if he does not restrain himself. So, restrictions are only good in neophyte stage, because, so see, currently we are all in neophyte stage. So, we are restricting ourselves, right? We're restricting ourselves on so many distractions. Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and whatnot, or some, going here and going there in different places also. So, on an advanced platform, when one is developing a very higher taste, and it becomes very easy to restrain the cells. So, the more higher you go, you've got a higher taste, right? So, then restraining these senses becomes very easy. One automatically loses taste for pale things. That those things which does not give you taste, which is pale, what do? You don't even taste it. So for example, if mummy has made or wife has made halwa, but the halwa has no sugar only, will you eat that halwa? No, you will not eat that halwa. Why? Because it is pale. Halwa is supposed to be sweet, right? But it does not have taste. So what do? You reject it. Similarly, things of these material world are completely pale. They have no taste. But where is the taste? The taste in actually service to Krishna is a taste. And because you develop a higher taste, then you keep on leaving this lower taste. So, what kind of taste is recommended? One who has tasted the Lord's beauty in the course of his advancement. Such a person loses all taste of dead material things, because you have taste for a living person who is Krishna. Then all what is there in this material world is dead matter, right? Earth, water, air, fire, ether. Where are they reciprocating with us? Where is this glass reciprocating with me, or where is this mouse reciprocating with me? So we have attachment to dead matter or dead material things. So all that attachment will go away, because Krishna's beauty is so So enchanting that immediately we will lose taste. So even the wise are distracted by senses. So this rarity of Sthita Pragya is given, because to control the senses, it is very difficult. To sit in one place, control the senses is very difficult. Then what is the solution? So when you develop a higher taste, then definitely you will sit in one place. Like for example, okay, in the morning when we are chanting, don't we sit for 2 hours and chant in one place only? We don't get distracted too much. Okay, let me move, let me walk, let me sleep. No, why? Because you are involved in a activity which is giving you a higher taste, which is taking you more high, more high, more higher, and it will take you to the highest level. And that is why you are restraining your senses, you're restraining yourself, and then you're sitting in one position only. Right? So Shloka 60 to 63, they're explaining how one who is in Krishna conscious may easily fall down. Sorry, who's not in Krishna consciousness may easily fall down, right? So if you see, that is why what happens is that one who does not have a taste for Krishna consciousness, he will easily fall down. Fall down means what? His intelligence, because it is not steady, he will keep on doing something wrong activities, and that will get him into the cycle of doing more sins, and more sins. And that's why he falls down more down. Where does he fall? He falls down more to the hell. Okay. Anybody who's recently we are seeing in the news a lot many things. Why is all these things happening? Because these people don't have a higher taste, and that is why there are so many murders and so many sins committed by these people, because they don't have a higher taste. Had that particular person had a higher taste of Krishna consciousness, would he think of murdering somebody? He would not think at all. He would not think of even killing an ant. What to speak about murdering a particular person who is just age 16, right? So that is why we should, when we have a higher taste, then it is where we will not fall down, or we will not fall prey to all these nonsensical things. So without developing a higher taste, there is no other effective method to control the senses. So the only way to fix the mind on mind and senses on Krishna, then so if you want to develop a higher taste, then fix the mind and senses on Krishna. So the power of the senses are so strong, and the impetus is also so strong, that it can carry away the mind even of even a man of discrimination, somebody who knows what is right and what is wrong. See, when when a person instantly triggers a gun or a particular action, so it is not like that people do not know what is right, what is wrong. They know, they have that particular basic, at least, discrimination. Non-devotees also have that basic discrimination. I should not say non-devotees, yet to become devotees, I should say. Those who have not yet become devotees, they also have that power of discrimination, that this is good and this is bad. But what happens? The impetus is so strong that it will sweep away his discrimination ability also. And that's how he will trigger the gun onto somebody, or the knife onto somebody, or a stone onto somebody, and it will just, he will lose his power of discrimination. And that is why in the next shloka he is saying that contrast between dry renunciation and devotional service. So if a person who is very steadily fixed, or who has a steady intelligence, is a person who's restraining his senses, keeping them under full control, and he fixes his consciousness upon the Supreme Lord. So we don't do dry renunciation. Dry renunciation means there is no meaning to that renunciation. Like, for example, I'll tell you, one of my cousin brothers, he time and again goes on Maun Vrata. Maun Vrat means the whole day he wouldn't speak at all, only in actions. Okay. Now, he in USA, back in USA, he's an MS. Okay, but I remember still today he follows that. On some days he will go on Maun Vrat. For 15 days he will go on Maun. But that is dry renunciation. What is he achieving, without speaking? He's just thinking that if I keep quiet, then, all my karmas, I will not do only any karmas by speaking, or I will not speak anything wrong or bad to somebody. And that's how I'm restraining. But this is dry renunciation. Why? Because this particular activity of not speaking is not pleasing to the Lord. If we glorify the Lord, then that is pleasing to the Lord. Why? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that pass on this knowledge to everyone and give this knowledge to everyone. So we devotees, what are we doing is we are giving this knowledge by book distribution, by courses, by discourses, by seminars. We are giving this knowledge to everybody, and in that process we are using all our senses in the service of the Supreme Lord. So dry renunciation is you are not benefiting actually even yourself also. Let me be honest, you don't benefit yourself also. You are not benefiting Krishna also, and you're not benefiting any mankind also. Anybody around you also, you're not benefiting. People get frustrated, in fact, with you that, "Arey, kuch to bol yaar, kya bolna hai?" Because sometimes we're not able to explain also properly. So people, who are near and dear ones, they also get frustrated. And what do you want to speak? So this is dry renunciation. That renunciation which does not uplift me, that is completely dry. That renunciation which is not connected to Krishna, that renunciation which does not please Krishna, that renunciation which is only for our own sense gratification, that renunciation is rejected. And only devotional service to Krishna is recommended over here. So Krishna said that we should seek the higher taste. So how he describes how one can get this higher taste. So sense control is possible only by devotion to Krishna. So see, Srila Prabhupada says that the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness. Durvasa Yogi or Durvasa Muni versus Amrish Maharaj. So what did Amrish Maharaj do? What did he do? Amrish Maharaj was engaged all his senses in Krishna's service, and that is why he was able to tolerate the injustice done by Durvasa Muni. But on the other hand, Durvasa Muni wasn't tolerant enough. He thought, and he did not even go and inquire that, okay, this person has not even had water, and he's just taken only 2-3 drops of water. So Durvasa Muni wasn't tolerant enough because he's a yogi. He's an Ashtanga yogi. So he was not able to, restrain his senses. All of a sudden, he reacted on that particular instant. There is a difference between reaction and responding to a particular instance. So over here, Durvasa Muni is reacting and not responding. And Amrish Maharaj, he has responded to Durvasa Muni's intolerance. Okay. So like, for example, I'll give you one example. I don't know whether I've given this example, but let me give this example. Is that, for example, there was a woman who went into a restaurant and she sat over there. And there was this waiter who actually saw that there is a cockroach sitting on her shoulder. So then he said that, "Ma'am, there is a cockroach sitting on your shoulder." So what did she do? She immediately reacted and she pushed up that cockroach on somebody else's, and it reached on a particular person's plate, and that person, in that reaction, he threw the plate. There's a waiter coming, all that liquid splashed up, and somebody else's dress got dirtied, and there was a nice beautiful somebody celebrating a birthday a 4-layered cake was there, that somebody was shooing away that cockroach from his place, and his hand destroyed that whole layered cake. The whole hotel, or that whole hotel room, was into a mess and a chaos. With the reaction of one person, what she could have done, he said that there's a cockroach on your shoulder. What she should have done, she should have taken that cockroach and she would have put it outside. But here she reacted, and the whole hotel, that room, went into a mess. Everything was spilled, and plates broken, and glasses broken, and went into a mess. So reaction and responding is in our hands. So somebody is very angry on you, and you also react, you also become angry. What will happen? That whole fight will aggravate, and then it will go into a big fight for hours and hours. But if you don't respond, you respond by keeping quiet, you don't retaliate, then what will happen? Maybe that person will keep on and on and on and on for maybe 10 minutes or for 20 minutes, but at least it will not aggravate too, right? So this is the meaning of tolerating. And he says mat para, it implies all senses and mind are engaged in relationship with Krishna. So Amrish Maharaj is engaging all his senses in the service of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so we know what did Amrish Maharaj do. He engaged his eyes in seeing the beauty of the Lord, engaged his ears in hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and the glories of the Supreme Lord. He engaged his mouth in speaking about the Supreme Lord and eating only Krishna Prasad, his nose in smelling the Tulsi flower, his hands in washing the temple, his feet he took to visit the holy places of the Supreme Lord, his head he used to bow down to the Supreme Lord. So all his senses are engaged. So Baldev Vidyabhushan, who is another Vattapara, who's engaged all his senses in the service of the Lord, he's saying that senses can be completely controlled only by strength of devotional service. Senses cannot be controlled by yoga, pranayam, ashtanga yoga, no. By pranayam and yoga, the senses will only calm down, but they will not be purified. So senses can only be purified and controlled by the strength of devotional service. So devotional service is compared to Vishnu as fire. It just as a fire is burning everything to ashes. Similarly, Vishnu in the heart of a yogi burns all the impurities. Whatever impurities we have, Krishna will dhvans kar denge, usko burn kar denge. So the aim of yoga is actually devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and meditation should be on Vishnu and not anything on void. Okay, the Brahmavadis, they are just, meditating on particular light, the Brahma Jyoti, but then that is completely void. It's not something personal. So then again, how is he sitting? Then Krishna is speaking that spoke that the senses taking away of the mind by force to the sense objects, and he's describing the effects coming from that uncontrolled mind. So if a person has an uncontrolled mind, then what other stages of his downfall because of this uncontrolled mind? He's saying dhyayata vishayam pumsa sangastya supajayate sangat sanjayate kama kama krodha vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibramati. Smriti, intelligence vibram ho jati hai, and smriti brahmashad buddhi nasho, intelligence nashta ho jati hai. Buddhi nashat pranashyati, then he falls down. So see, common theme, process of fall down. If the mind is not on Krishna, then it is fixed on the sense objects and inevitably drags one to illusion. So if somebody over here, see, they have given Prabhuji has given a chart. He's saying that how is the process of fall down? Contemplating the objects of the senses. Then if I'm actually contemplating on a particular object, then I have an attachment. Say, for example, somebody wants to buy a house, okay, or somebody is attached to a woman also. So all the time, he's thinking about, that woman, or that house, and then he develops attachment to that woman or house. And then that develops into a lust that I want it by any cost, by hook or by crook. And in case if that lady or girl does not come on time, then what happens is he wants to enjoy the house, he wants to enjoy the woman, then that lust becomes unfulfilled. And because of this lust, then what happens? Anger arises. Why? Because, oh, why are you late? I'm standing here from 5 o'clock and you're coming over here at 5:30. So there is anger. And this anger then actually leads to complete delusion, bewilderment of, memory. And this guy or this person, he loses control. He slaps the girl. Why you came late? Or in that house analogy, he murders people that no, somehow they're, I want this zameen. I want to build a house on this. And that person is not giving me that land, murder. So, all his memory also becomes bewildered. He loses his intelligence. Losing intelligence means power of discrimination. He is lost. And when he loses his intelligence, then he falls down again into the material pool of the cycle of birth and death again and again and again and again. So what we have to do is we have to cut this particular cycle. And instead of contemplating on the objects of the senses, we should contemplate, we should fix our mind on Krishna. That is the solution. So then we won't have only, then where will that attachment be to? If we are contemplating on Krishna, then the attachment will be to Krishna only. The greed will be for Krishna only. All our senses and all our emotions that are there, that will be there for whom? That will be for Krishna only, right? So, just give me 1 minute. So, now if I'm having greed for Krishna, then I want to fulfill whatever is there. I want to please Krishna, right? All my emotions will be for whom? My emotions will be for Krishna. And I will never be bewildered with my memory. Why? Because my memory is fixed in Krishna. And because my mind is fixed in Krishna, memory, mind, okay, same. Because my mind is fixed in Krishna, my intelligence will also guide me and cooperate with me. My intelligence will also help me to discriminate. This is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. And then I will not fall into this pool of material world. I will rise myself to Krishna consciousness more. I will rise myself to serving the Supreme Lord more and more and more. So this is actually, process of fall down, but there is a process of uplifting also. So the same process, if you dovetail it to Krishna, then you will rise up also, right? So that's way, we will rise in Krishna consciousness. Let's see the next. Oh, I stopped sharing. I'm sorry. So let's see what is the next slide. Senses are naturally active. Yes, senses, they need some activity. Why? Because the soul in itself is only active. So that is why senses will also be active and they need some engagement, either in the service of Lord or materialism. So right now also, we all are sitting, right? And the senses are also moving. Eyes are blinking, ears are, hearing something, hands are moving, mouth is also moving, even if you all are not talking, but at least the tongue is moving, right? Inside. So one way to get out of this material puzzle is Krishna consciousness. And they say that these senses are so much turbulent that even a person of discrimination, it will, put that person also into bewilderment. So, a negative example given over here is that even powerful demigod like Lord Shiva was agitated by Parvati and Kartikeya was born. So senses are very turbulent. And positive example, Haridas Thakur and Yamunacharya, they have controlled their senses, and all the sensual attractions are by the power of Krishna consciousness. Why do we call Haridas Thakur Nam Acharya? Because incessantly he was able to chant, many names of Lord incessantly. He used to sleep hardly for half an hour or 1 hour in a day. And all the day, he used to just chant, chant, and chant. So the sorry, tongue twisting. Secret of success in terms of sense control is that the higher taste shuns of all this material enjoyment, whatever we want to enjoy. Now, very simple thing, okay? Let's take that before we came into Krishna consciousness, how much we were into material, materialism, right? But after coming into Krishna consciousness, it has reduced, right? So why? Because slowly we are getting a higher taste, and that lower taste is getting shunned down. I remember one of my very good friends in Delhi. She was telling me her realization. She's telling that before coming into Krishna consciousness, every weekend, we used to go shopping to the malls, and because they came into Krishna consciousness in 2013, and by the time the malls had already been built in Delhi. So she was telling me that. Every weekend we used to go to the mall and we used to buy clothes, all these other things which were not even required. There was no need. And we were piling up our cupboards with so many clothes. But now, after coming into Krishna consciousness, we have stopped going to the malls. Only something bare minimum necessities, if it is required, we are, bringing that into our house. And if you see, if you see the mercy of Srila Prabhupada on us, so much of expenses we used to do previously also. So expenses on people used to eat so much of meat, which is so expensive. People used to eat onion garlic, again, which is so expensive. People used to drink tea and coffee, again, expensive. People used to drink liquor, again, so much expensive. How much of money Srila Prabhupada has saved? At least then a little part of that we should give as a donation to the temple. So much of our budget house budget has come down because of, Srila Prabhupada and giving us so much nice guidance. So now Srila Prabhupada is saying that whatever you want to use everything in the service of the Lord. Yukta Vairagya, not Falgu Vairagya. Falgu Vairagya is, dry renunciation. Means what? You renounce, but you don't have a heart of renunciation. Means half-heartedly you renounce, and then again when the right opportunity comes, you immediately accept it for sense gratification. No, not that way. Yukta Vairagya means you are using everything. So for example, it is not wrong to buy a car. Okay, you buy a car, but you use it to go to the temple, or you use it for facilitating devotees to go to the temple. Say, for example, somebody is staying far away from the temple and somebody is staying near your house, right? You can give him a lift in the morning. Okay, please come. We both will go, or we all, my family, your family, we all will go for Mangala Aarti every day. That way. So then that is called Yukta Vairagya. You're facilitating devotees also. You're going to the temple also. Not that you buy a car and then you are going, to pubs and parties and to liquor bars. Then that is not Yukta Vairagya. Okay, so that is, sense gratification. Yukta Vairagya offers positive enjoyment. Example, good eatables. One enjoys life by prasadam. So see, the tongue has a taste to taste tasty things. But we know that who's the master of the senses? Krishna. So when you offer food to the Supreme Lord and then take it as prasadam, still it is a positive enjoyment only. Why? Because the Supreme Lord has enjoyed that first, and because I am the servant of the Supreme Lord, then I enjoy it later. The remnants of my master. Then there's no danger of fall down because of philosophy of Yukta Vairagya. So dry renunciation of Falgu Vairagya will, make a person fall down due to lack of positive enjoyment. Because the intention is not to please Krishna. The intention is to please your own senses. So when you satisfy the senses of the Lord, automatically you will be satisfied. Then the fourth question is, how does he walk? How does this particular person walk then? So far Krishna explained the dangers of accepting sense objects and how a Sthita Pragya person controls himself from being distracted by them. Now he says that it is not a fault to accept the sense objects if it is done with controlled senses, without undue attachment in the mind. So how does he walk? How does he engage his senses? While engaging senses, he does regulation and religious principles. So over here, Srila Prabhupada says that hearing is important, but practical application is the most important. Only then will it be possible to remember Krishna constantly. So see, we are hearing Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and all these, scriptures again and again and again. And on a daily basis, we are hearing that. So then when we are hearing, then we have to apply it into our life. Then only when you apply, then you are able to remember the Supreme Lord, constantly, every moment. So the self-realized person is free from all attachments and aversions. He controls his senses through regulative principles of freedom. Regulated principles of freedom, which means what? When we are regulating our senses by following certain principles, we get freedom from the cycle of birth and death. We get freedom from unrestricted senses, and thus he obtains the complete mercy of the Lord. So we also have been given certain rules and regulations. We have also been given, so why are these rules and regulations given? So it is not to bind us, Srila Prabhupada has given 4 regulative principles and chanting the 16 rounds. It's not like that, oh, Srila Prabhupada wanted that, oh, let them be under control, they'll be under control. No. Srila Prabhupada, these principles are the pillars of Dharma. What we have seen in IDC also, that the IDC course is the ISKCON disciple course. So we have seen, that these principles are the 4 pillars of Dharma. And when you are following this, it's not like that you are binded now. Okay, now I have no freedom at all. I am not drinking liquor. I am not eating meat. I am not eating chocolates. I am not eating onion, garlic. And I am restraining myself. No. These rules and regulations or do's and don'ts are given so that we are right now, we are binded. We are completely into control of the material nature. This is to free us from the cycle of birth and death. Like for example, if I want to go from Lajpat Nagar to Gurgaon in Delhi, okay, and from that particular place to Gurgaon, it is a 2-hour drive, okay. So if there will be no, red signals or crossroads, or if there will be no U-turns and there will be no left turns and no right turns, there'll be no traffic laws, will I be able to reach Gurgaon in 2 hours? No, it will take me maybe 24 hours also to reach Gurgaon, because there's such a chaos and a mess on the roads, right? And there'll be so much of traffic jam. So similarly, when we are following these 4 regulative principles, it is not to bind us, it is to free us from this cycle of birth and death, or otherwise people will land up in some different only place. Instead of Gurgaon, he will land up somewhere else, you know, in some other place. Will land up in Noida. So it will be very difficult. So what is our destination? Our destination is Golok Vrindavan. And if we are following these rules and regulations, and if we are not taking intoxication, so why, when you're taking intoxication, what happens? These senses, you know, they loosen up. The senses don't have the power. And you know, बोलते ना कि senses ढीली पड़ जाती है, उसको कहते हैं हिंदी में. So these senses will not be active. Somebody has, so for example, I always give this into, you know, the IDC class. For example, somebody is drinking liquor, okay, and he is practicing Krishna consciousness also drinking liquor. What happens? He is taking liquor at night only. Okay, so now what has happened? His senses have loosened up. Will he be able to get up 3:30 in the morning for Mangala Aarti? No, he won't be able to. Why? All his senses are weakened up. He won't be able to get up only because there is so much of a blockage that, you know, it's such a big hangover he's got on his senses that he does not even realize that what is the time. He might get up at 11 o'clock in the morning only. So that's how these senses become loosened up. And if somebody is gambling, so then he's gambling with his time also. Or if somebody is, you know, having illicit connections or illicit sex, then what is he happening? He is actually breaking, or he is shunning down the pillar of cleanliness or austerity. Because when the senses become loosened up, you can't be austere, you can't do tapasya. For us, we Krishna conscious people, for us the tapasya is only that you do Ekadashi Vrat, you chant 16 rounds, you follow the 4 eclipse, that is tapasya for us. And for the karmis or the yet to become devotees, for them sense gratification is serious fun. But for us devotees, tapasya is serious fun for us. Why? Because we are getting a higher taste. Early morning in Mangala Aarti, when we reach the temple, aren't we be so jubilant? See, taking the darshan of the Lord, being in association of so many devotees, and chanting in the association devotees, such a jubilant, you know, festival for us every day morning, right? So that's how, you know, we get happiness by acting in Krishna consciousness, and we get the mercy of the Lord. So let's go ahead with the next slide. So then attaining prasad, result of attaining prasada, no happiness or peace without connecting to the Subhara prasade sarva dukkhanam anirupadeshade. So then he's saying that how a Krishna conscious person transcends all attachment and aversion. He may appear to be on a sensual plane, but he has no attachment to sensual activities. He is only concerned with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. If Krishna wants, one can do anything ordinarily undesirable. So if Krishna wants, somebody can distribute even 10,000 books. Something which is, you know, ordinarily undesirable. Or if Krishna does not want, one shall not do that which would ordinarily done for his own satisfaction, right? So on what strength does a devotee achieve this exalted consciousness? This consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of being attached to the sensual platform. So over here, if you see, Dhruv Maharaj wanted a kingdom bigger than his grandfather. But then what exactly happened? He is practicing and he practiced Krishna consciousness. Then all that attachment that was there for, you know, acquiring a kingdom bigger than his grandfather, that also, you know, became undesirable for him. He did not want, he said, okay, I don't want this. I only want the association of devotees. So what is the result of achieving the Lord's mercy? A particular person gets complete satisfaction of senses and consciousness. He becomes completely satisfied when he, achieves Lord mercy. So when even Dhruv Maharaj achieved Lord's mercy, what happened? All his senses got satisfied and his consciousness also got satisfied just by seeing the beauty of Krishna, just by seeing. That is why, in the previous slide also we said over here, where is it? One who has tasted the Lord's beauty in the course of his advancement, such a person loses all taste of dead material things. Over here, we saw. So he lost all that, taste. He lost all that desire also, that I want a kingdom bigger than my grandfather also. And the threefold miseries do not exist only for him. The threefold miseries that are birth, death, old age, and disease, they don't exist for them. Intelligence is soon well established. So now the intelligence is established on such a plane that yes, the mind and the senses will listen to the intelligence, and not the intelligence will listen to the mind and the senses. It's not the opposite. The mind and the senses will listen to the intelligence. In fact, the mind listens to the intelligence, and because the mind listens to the intelligence, the senses also will listen to the mind. So what takes place when one lacks satisfaction in Krishna consciousness? So somebody who's not satisfied in Krishna consciousness, if he's there in Krishna consciousness, but he's not too satisfied. So no happiness and peace by lack of Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness, the mind becomes peaceful. So if somebody who is, spent a few years in Krishna consciousness, and he says that, I'm not really satisfied in Krishna consciousness, I just want to leave and go. Why does he do that? Because he does not have happiness and peace, and he's not followed the right process. If he would have followed the process, then this process is a sure shot solution to give you peace and happiness, sukh or shanti. So, but if one is not connected only with the Supreme, then neither the transcendental intelligence is possible, nor the steady mind is possible. And without a steady mind, then there is no possibility of peace also, and there is no happiness without peace. And if there is no peace, then there will be no happiness also. So he's shackled. So now what is the practical application of text 266? So the contrast between the 66 and 65 shloka, it is strengthening Krishna's argument. If the mind and intelligence deviate from meditation on Krishna, there can be no question of happiness. So my mind and intelligence, my intelligence should be completely, my mind, my senses, if the senses are engaged, then the mind is controlled. And if the mind is controlled, then the intelligence is sharpened. And that is why I will get happiness. And deviating from thoughts of Krishna and contemplating on sense objects then results in becoming overwhelmed by desires of material enjoyment. So over here is Shaubari Muni in this particular picture. What happened is that he went underwater, and because he went underwater, so one of his senses saw the eyes saw the two fishes mating. And what happened? Immediately, because he was meditating and his thoughts of Krishna deviated, he deviated from the thoughts of Krishna. So what happened is then all these sense objects became disturbed, and then his desire for material enjoyment increased. So what did he do? He immediately came out of water and he married 50 princesses and got involved in material enjoyment in that way. So even Vishwamitra also, he also did the same. So then without Krishna consciousness, there is no peace. Real peace formula is given in 5.29. We know that shloka. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram surida sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. So three things are there. Krishna is the only enjoyer. Krishna is only Bhoktaram. And he is the supreme proprietor also. Sarva loka maheshwaram also. And as a real friend of all living entities. Surida sarva bhutanam. Bhuta, when they say over there, Bhuta means not Bhut or ghost. It is Bhuta means living entity. The Sanskrit word Bhuta means living entity. So, without Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind, and disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal. Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. So peaceful condition when you establish your relationship with Krishna alone. So what happens if the senses are not regulated by Krishna consciousness? Then, agitated senses search for satisfaction in sense objects, dragging one deep into illusion. बोलते हैं ना कि बुद्धि विभ्रमित हो जाती है. It's a big illusion. So as a strong wind sweeps away a boat on water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. So it is exactly like this, that this camel is eating the thorns and there is blood oozing out also from his tongue. But that very same blood is thinking that these thorns are giving him, his thorns are, his blood is giving him taste. And again he is eating, but he's not realizing that these thorns are hurting me. And because these thorns are hurting me, there is blood oozing out and I'm tasting my own blood only. So that is being said over here. So this shloka, 68 shloka, is defining a man of steady intelligence. Senses are always searching for satisfaction in sense objects. Therefore, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is of steady intelligence. So then, further explanation Prabhupada is giving is that who is a sadhaka or a suitable candidate for liberation? One who has understood that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence. And one should practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master or a bona fide guru. And the analogy is given about controlling enemies requires a superior force. So, for example, if I have these enemies and if I remove my Brahmastra, then these enemies will be controlled, right? Or if I have Bofors, then it will. So, a superior force is required. So, what is that superior force? The spiritual master is that superior force. Similarly, senses cannot be controlled by any human endeavor. You need the mercy of the Supreme Lord. You need the mercy of a superior force, the spiritual master, but can be controlled by keeping them in the service of the Lord. So you need a proper engagement. You need these senses to be engaged sufficiently enough in the service of the Lord. So then Krishna gives an analogy that although sensory engagements appear similar for a self-realized soul and a materialist, there is a difference of day and night. Which means what? That you will see devotees also going out and, earning money. You will see a materialist also going out and earning money. But what is the difference between the two? He's saying it's a gulf of a difference. Day and night difference is there. You will see a materialist also cooking and you will see a devotee also cooking. You will see a devotee traveling and a materialist also traveling. What is the difference between the two? So, further he is saying that there are two classes of intelligent men. Those involved in material action for sense gratification. and those who are introspective and awake to self-realization. So a materialist is also intelligent person. Why? Because he knows how to earn. There is in him also there is intelligence. Intelligence is given to every man, right? The intelligence is given even to an animal also. Because if you see, when you switch on the light, or the cat immediately knows that where the milk is, and immediately she will find her target milk vessel. Or when at night you switch on the electricity in the kitchen, and immediately all these cockroaches will run away. How? That is an intelligence given by the Lord to them. So those involved in material action for sense gratification, they are asleep to self-realization. Those who are just behind money, they are asleep to self-realization. They dream of varieties of sense pleasure. A man may dream about a woman, or a woman may dream about a man, or a man may dream that, I am traveling here and I'm traveling there, and I will go here and I will go there. And sometimes they feel happy and sometimes they feel distressed. So if his desires are fulfilled, then he is happy. If his desires are not fulfilled, then he is in distress. So, and opposite to that, a person who are introspective and awake to self-realization, they are always indifferent to materialism. They know that, okay, I have to earn, but I have to earn for my children, and there's a responsibility being given to me. Or the woman, the women know that, okay, I'm cooking for my children, I'm cooking for Krishna, and whatever I'm cooking is going to be purified, and Krishna is going to give his mercy through that. They feel transcendental pleasure and gradual advancement of spiritual culture, always undisturbed and indifferent to materialistic happiness and distress. So whether there is happiness in their life, okay, welcome. There is distress in their life, they are patiently actually tolerating the misery, and they think that misery is the mercy of Krishna. So the Krishna conscious person is full because the Lord fulfills all his material necessities. Therefore, he is always full like the ocean. And what is the proof of this Krishna conscious man? Lost all inclination for sense gratification, although desires are present. Desire may be there, but he's saying, जाने दो क्या करना है, सिगरेट फूक के, जाने दो क्या करना है, दो चार बंगले बना के. He is steady like the ocean because he remains satisfied in transcendental loving service and thus achieves real peace. He enjoys full, I'm sorry. He enjoys He enjoys full peace. On the contrary, bhakti, the fruitive workers, mukti, salvation, and siddhi kam, they never attain peace. All these, yogis, they don't. The bhakti, the bhakti kami, the mukti kami, the siddhi kami, these people, they don't attain peace. Why they don't attain peace? Let me tell you that also. Those who are mukti kamis, those who are siddhi kamis, we were just seeing in our Canto 2 explanation, if you'll remember, some of them are attending that Bhagavatam class every day of reading. So in that, Canto 2 only, Srila Shukdev Goswami is mentioning that so there is one sadhan, sadhya, and the end. Okay. So for these mukti kamis and the siddhi kamis, at every stage they have to give up something, right? For a person who is karma kandi, he has to give up and he has to elevate himself to the higher stage. Then his sadhan and sadhya, both are different, and he has to give it up and he has to rise to the next level. So whether it is a karma yogi, then he has to give up his karmas and he has to rise to the Gyan platform. The Gyan yogis also have to give up that, that knowledge and rise to the platform of Ashtanga. Ashtanga yogi also has to give up and then he has to rise to another platform. So at every stage, these people have to give up. They have to give up their means also, and they have to give up their end also. But for we devotees, for a bhakti person, what he has to do, so even for this bhukti kami, okay, fruitive worker, he has to give up the fruits of his work, and then he comes to this liberated state. So for devotees, the means, the sadhan, the sadhya, and the end is the same. So what is the sadhan for the devotees? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakya, Atmanivedanam. What is the sadhya? Again is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. And what is the end? Again Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. So over here in this material world, what I am doing? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. When I will go to the spiritual world, what am I going to do? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam I'm going to do over there. So for us, the sadhan, sadhya, and the end, the means and the end are the same. I don't have to give up to attain some higher level. So for us, it is a very straight thing. And that is why we enjoy full peace. Because over here also I have to serve Krishna. Here also I am actually satisfying the senses of Krishna. When I reach the spiritual world, there also I am actually satisfying the senses of Krishna. I am giving pleasure to Krishna. I am, becoming the servant of the servant of the servant. There also I am a servant only. If on this earth planet I am the in this material world I am the servant, don't think in the spiritual world I will become boss or I'll become the master. Over there is only one master, and that is Krishna. And all others are Bhritya. All others are servants. And all others are servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. So over there also I have a guru. Over there also I have a guru under whom I'll be serving Krishna. Either I'll be under a manjari or a sakhi, or under the manjari, or I might be the last person, servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. So that is why, that's how I am. For me, the sadhan, sadhya, and the end all are the same, and that's how I will enjoy eternal peace, not temporary peace. So then, this platform of actual desirelessness, how will it come? So activities of bhakti yoga are free from false ego and a sense of proprietorship, because we know that we have a true ego. What is a true ego? That I am a servant of Krishna. And who is my master? Who all these things belong to? Then the proprietor is, the proprietor is Krishna. And then that's how one can achieve personal, can attain real peace. So actual desirelessness is desire for the satisfaction of Krishna, not an artificial attempt to abolish desires. So I have a desire to eat something. I have a desire to earn. I have a desire to accumulate something material, but everything will be done for the satisfaction of the Lord. Everything will be engaged in the service of the Lord. So knowledge of materially desireless person knows Ishavasyam idam sarvam. He knows that everything is an eternal part and parcel of Krishna. And this understanding of Krishna consciousness is the basic principle of real peace. Actual desirelessness, in conclusion, desire for becoming Krishna consciousness is the actual desire. So perfect stage of Krishna conscious, free from false ego, free from proprietorship, and Krishna is the supreme proprietor. So we don't falsely claim anything. And then the conclusion is, now the conclusion is given is that, thus one situated at the time of death enters the spiritual kingdom. And Krishna glorifies this Sthita Pragya position as that is the way of spiritual and godly life. After attaining this, one is not bewildered. So now that if somebody is not in Krishna consciousness, may easily fall down. So the process of this is, I'm actually summarizing what we have discussed all. This is the process of fall down, that uncontrolled mind and senses will make him more go to the down to the hellish planets. Artificial repression does not help anybody, because if you're artificially repressing, like Sobri Muni and Vishwamitra, then you actually fall prey again to the material world. One cannot enjoy life. Even a slightest agitation will make him fall down. There is no peace because there is no relationship only with Krishna. Where there is no relationship with Krishna, we should not expect only there will be peace. And then comparison of the yogi versus a devotee. And that's how. So this is how we have completed chapter 2 with all. Generally what I do is I take shloka to shloka, right? But over here what I have done is that since I found these explanations very wonderful, and if you see, all these slides have been made with the purports only. Srila Prabhupada's purports have been taken and the slides have been made. Srila Prabhupada's purports have been taken and the slides have been made. So that's how this knowledge that is there, very clear crystal knowledge has been given, analogies also have been given, and that's how we can appreciate this knowledge given by Krishna to Arjuna. Anybody has any questions, doubts, queries, feel free to ask.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat now.
Danvat.
Mataji, one question. We say that Krishna is our eternal father. He always knows everything that we need or want. Yeah. And in the examples you quoted, Draupadi, and she had to call out to Krishna for help. He was waiting. So Rukmani Mataji said that, why don't you rush when your devotee is asking for help? So this question comes to mind that, when Krishna knows everything, why did Draupadi have to call out specifically for him? Why not Krishna reaching out to his devotee by default?
So, see, we have been given a free will, right? Krishna is given a free will. So now Krishna also is actually, with that free will, he is seeing what is the intention of that devotee. Is that devotee calling me out? So for example, even with us, okay, if somebody will not call out for help, we won't go also, right? If somebody will call out for help, then only we'll go. Because, for example, if there is some, thing and somebody will call out for help, then we go for that help. Otherwise, we'll at far away, if I am there, I'll think, oh, her daughter is there now for helping. Okay, her son-in-law is also there for helping. Oh, her husband is there for helping. Achha, they are there, all relatives are there, then I don't think so there is need for me. So what I will do, I will stand over here and I will just be a spectator. But if that particular person specially calls out to me, please come and help me, then I will definitely runningly go. I will run and go and help that person, right? Similarly with Krishna also, he is given a free will to the Jivatmas. That if this person is calling me out, then I will go. If he is seeking help from me, then I will go. Till the time he is not seeking help from me and he is seeking help from others, okay, let him take help from the others. I will not go. But if my devotee calls me, I will rush and I will go to help him in that way.
Mataji, as a mother, whenever I hear my child crying, instinctively, whether they need or not need, I'll go at least to check, if not to help.
But if you see, if you see, the child will always, when he's crying, what he will say? Mama, mama, right? He calls you out and then you rush, right? So he's calling out to you and that's why you're rushing. But if he's only crying, right? Or he's only, crying, then the mama in the kitchen is thinking, oh, Papa will go. Or, the mother-in-law will go. But when he specifically calls you, then you rush, no? Right? Have you ever realized this? In raising your child, if your mother-in-law is there, father-in-law is there, if your husband is there, so he is just crying, then you think, okay, Papa will pick up. My mother-in-law will pick up. But when he says Mama, immediately you rush, right? So that is the case with the devotees also and Krishna also.
Thank you, Mataji. Beautifully explained.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. That is all Krishna's mercy and Guru's mercy that we are able to give some guidance to the devotees. Anybody else has any question, doubts, queries, or reflections or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I want to ask something.
Yes, Mataji, ask me.
Mataji, when like first thing is that people tell me that I am very satisfied with what I do in my work life. So, but which I don't think so it's bad because I'm into Krishna consciousness, but they feel that I am too satisfied with what I am doing and matlab I don't want to like from earning point of view, I don't want to earn more or I don't want to go beyond certain things which I'm doing. So is it really, matlab, sometimes you think, is it really good or bad or I'm doing right? So I just want to know from you.
See, with you, what is happening now, Atima, that you, because you're getting a higher taste, you're satisfied with whatever you're getting, right? And you internally also very satisfied. So then others' opinion should not actually bother us. ठीक है ना, लोग कहते रहेंगे. Imagine, I was just reading that there was a quote कि whole our life we actually keep on thinking that what will others say, what will others say. And if you see in Delhi that case that has happened with that girl, okay, passers by were watching that instance, but they were not helping. तो ये जो लोग हैं वो तो कहते ही रहेंगे. They will keep on saying that, oh, you are too satisfied, you don't want to earn more, you don't have the desire to earn more, because they have not tasted only Krishna consciousness. They do not know only the difference between a rasgulla and khichdi, because they have never tasted rasgulla in their whole life. They are thinking that only khichdi is only all in all. But over here we have a higher taste, and that higher taste only brings satisfaction. The symptom of the higher taste, it brings a devotee of satisfaction. See, why I also left my software engineering job and I took up to teaching job. I did a full-time B.Ed course after doing software engineering, because I was thinking, no, I want to dovetail my life more and more to Krishna consciousness. I want to spend more in time in serving the Supreme Lord. So from a higher profession, I traveled to a lower profession, thinking that I'll give more time. And still, again, Krishna gave me a facility where I was supposed to earn 8 hours a day in a school. I'm earning only 2 hours, and I'm earning the same amount even in 2 hours also. In the school, you get 50, 60,000 according to your post position. I was earning 60,000 in a school. But over here now, in that same timing, I'm earning the same amount of money, only in 2-3 hours in a day. And that too with my own terms and conditions, my own relaxed time. I'm earning where there will be no temple festivals, there'll be no services in the temple at that point of time, and I can give that particular time. So Krishna facilitates, because why? Because we were satisfied. We wanted to dovetail our time more and more to Krishna. So don't bother about people. Oh, तो लोग तो क्या कहते रहेंगे. You are happy, no? Internally, आप satisfied हो ना? Being in association of Krishna, being in association of devotees, right? So they have greed to accumulate, but we have another greed. They have a material greed to accumulate material things, but we have a spiritual greed of accumulating spiritual qualities or spiritual things, and which will take us more and more closer towards Krishna. So
yeah,
for
because sometimes means I always feel it is always there that whatever I need and whatever I want, or if I'm in pain, matlab, Krishna takes care of me.
yes,
Always.
yes,
Means
because
if I need even money also, then also my fee will be released from somewhere. I'll get it instead of asking from anybody.
yes. Recently, I had gone to visit my tailor to stitch something, and she was telling me her realization, because she is also a devotee only. So she was telling that during lockdown, I had to pay the fees of my daughter's education. And she wanted 3,000 rupees for that educational fees. And that was the last day she had to go and pay that fees. If she wouldn't pay, then the daughter wouldn't get admission. And she was telling that, Mataji, you won't believe, I was so much in tension, and within 10 minutes, a devotee from the temple came and gave me 3,000 rupees. He said that, Mataji, you have selflessly served Balaji and Jai Vijay outside, because she was stitching clothes for Jai Vijay and Balaji absolutely free of cost. For almost 4-5 years, she was serving, and she was stitching Balaji and Jai Vijay outside. If you have seen Pune temple, and she was not taking one single rupee. So imagine, Krishna reciprocated within 10 minutes. That person is coming and giving her money. This is how her reciprocation. So same reciprocation with you also. That all of a sudden, you require money, you require something, and within some few minutes or few hours, it is there in you. This is Krishna's reciprocation. He's reciprocating with you so wonderfully.
And
That-
one more thing, Mataji, even in team, sometimes, see, basically I'm not a negative person. So whatever I try to say for their benefit. But they take it very negatively. And they think that I'm like bossy. I want to, whatever I'm saying is because I want it to be get it done.
See,
But that
Atma,
is
I
not
know
my
your
nature.
very well, because we have been in Delhi together and you have attended my classes. So when you're telling me this, it's a very great surprise to me. Atma and bossy cannot be only. Like, Atma has such a subtle nature. She's such a Soumya nature, and even your speech is also so very Soumya. Then how are they thinking that you're trying to boss over them? That needs a little
Whatever I try, because I'm saying this is something you need to improve. So
yeah.
because they don't want to take it like, they think, oh, how can somebody say anything like that about me? Means so much negativity is there.
Right. Okay, so now there is one solution to this. Whenever we want to give any room for improvement to somebody, there is a sandwich program. Okay. What is that sandwich program? Before giving room of improvement, you glorify or you tell him his or her good qualities. That, see, Sonu, so nicely, you are doing this and acha kar rahe ho. From when on time you have joined the company, you have done so nice things and all. Jo bhi, whatever good qualities you can remember of that person. But I feel that this is the area of improvement required for you. If you improve, you will excel more. And then this is the room for improvement you're given. Again another nice quality you end it with, like sandwich program. Starting में glorify करो, ending में उनके positives बोलो, और बीच में room for improvement. So then last में again you can say, but yeah, all these other qualities also so good of yours, So you will have different qualities at the first, different qualities at the last, and बीच पे room for improvement. Try this out. This will really work for you, because people ना लोगों को अपनी तारीफ सुनना बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. तो फिर हमें क्या करना है? तारीफ करनी है, और बीच में फिर रूम फॉर इम्प्रूवमेंट घुसाना है, और फिर लास्ट में अगेन तारीफ करनी है. That way, this is the nice program that we can do. And if we want to give, because we teachers also do the same thing. I want to give some room for improvement for the child. I will call the parent, I will glorify that child first, I'll give the room for improvement for that child, and then again I will glorify, because no mother would like to listen कि तुम्हारा बच्चा बदमाश है, तुम्हारा बच्चा ऐसा है, तुम्हारा बच्चा
Now,
वैसा है. No
this one.
mother will like to listen,
Do you want to put the same thing here?
negative thing for their child. But then this is how the sandwich program works. Okay, you can try this out.
Thank you, Mataji. Definitely, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else
Hare
has any
Krishna.
queries and questions? Fatima is very subtle by nature. I know her from almost What year, Atima? 2010? 2000?
Yeah, 10, 11.
Yes,
10,
10,
11.
11. Yeah. Anybody else has any questions, queries, doubts? Okay, I just wanted to announce one more thing. We have a new student in our class and her name is Priyanka. She's also just joined us, and she's also one of my coordinators for the reading batch. She coordinates that. A very wonderful devotee. She's staying currently in Indore, and she's studying from there only. But she was in Pune first. She got me. She came in connection with me, and then I told her that you do Bhakti Shastri course. So she's also chanting 16 rounds and a very nice, wonderful, sweet devotee. So I welcome Priyanka to the class by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Welcome, Priyanka. Okay. So anybody else has any questions, queries, doubts? Okay, so I think it's time up. Well, every time, sorry, from last classes, I'm taking 20 minutes up the class. So Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Rupa.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mataji, the PPT you can share by Google
Yeah.
Drive, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
ma'am.
take it in Google Drive. Why? Because it is a 100 MB file, above 100 MB.
Sure.
So share
Okay,
it in
Mataji.
Google Drive so that you can take
Sure,
the
Mataji.
advantage of it. Prabhu. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am.
Srila
Hare
Prabhupada
Krishna.
ki jai, Gaur Bhakta
Jai.
Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.